FYI, the satellite coordinates for this site are SES3, transponder 17, slot D9. Downlink 12,050, 3.5 horizontal. Date rate 11.914. Symbol 7.2. If you have further questions about the satellite coordinates, please see the representatives in the back from the Hammond Communications Group.
Copy that. Thank you.
Who we got? Tyler?
Number two.
Number 2, Chase Ross. In addition to Coach Smart, Tyler Kolak, and Chase Ross will be here with Marquette. That's it. Again, we remind everyone to please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and your immediate affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. Raise a hand and we'll get a mic to you. If you're joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address the room first and get to Zoom if time allows. And recording of the press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. And we will be allotted about 12 minutes for the winning team and 10 minutes for Colorado. Hey, David, how you doing, bud? Okay, Marquette coach and student athletes are on their way. Congratulations. Hell of a game. Congratulations. Hell of a game.
Oh, man. Welcome.
Cam Jones plus 20.
All right, we have been joined by Marquette. And there you go, Coach.
Yeah, Coach.
Six turnovers.
And we'll ask you to make an opening statement, Coach, and then we'll go to questions for anybody up here at the dais. So, Coach?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful for our guys, the way they hung in there. Colorado made a heck of a run. That's about as good of a 10 seed as I've ever seen in my life. We started watching tape a couple days ago, and we said, who made these guys a 10 seed? No disrespect to anyone, but man, they're a talented, talented team, and they got going in the second half. But our guys never blinked, never wavered. These two did a phenomenal job leading the way. You know, we made some mistakes, but you know, we kept belief in each other. We stayed connected. And then I thought, you know, down the stretch, we got enough defensive stops to win the game. It certainly wasn't our best defensive half, but the activity that our guys had throughout the game was disruptive enough. And then two huge, huge free throws by David Joplin.
Questions, please, right here in front.
Ben Steele, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Tyler, I'm sure you've heard since you got to Marquette that Marquette hadn't been to the Sweet 16 since 2013. What's it mean to you that this group is the one that finally broke through?
Yeah, obviously it's been a long time coming. Even for this group, you know, we feel like it's been a long time coming. That first year didn't go how we wanted. The second year certainly didn't go how we wanted. And then, you know, coming back this year, we had a vengeance. And we, you know, I told the guys before the game, you know, this moment has been in our nightmares, and we're not running from it anymore.
Right here.
Jayla Johnson, IUPUI, Sports Capital Journalism. Can you just walk us through the last 3 minutes of the game? There was a timeout at 3 minutes, and the score was 74-74. Can you just walk us through what the conversation was?
Question for Coach? Yeah.
Yes. I called timeout because we didn't have Cam Jones in the game. And, you know, the whole game he was in foul trouble. I told him, man, you're too valuable to take a couple of those fouls. You did. But he's just out there competing. So we were able to get him back in the game. The guys did a good job executing. I thought, you know, either we got a good look on pretty much every possession, or there was a good opportunity and the ball either got hit out of our hands or something happened. But, for the most part, I thought the guys really executed offensively throughout the game. And then, on the defensive end, again, we got just enough stops, just enough rebounds. Our guys did a great job at the end there when they called timeout when we were up 2, getting a stop, and then, we were able to make free throws, get the ball in bounds. It was a little bit hairy there. When they had a bunch of fouls to give, we knew they were going to be aggressive, but the guys got the ball in the bounds and were strong with the ball.
Right here, Mike.
Tyler, on the baseline drive that wound up with you taking the half hook over Lampkin, I mean, are you thinking at that point exactly what you're going to do, or are you looking to see how they react to you and taking whatever the defense provides?
Yeah, the whole time they've been telling me to keep my dribble along the baseline. I was kind of getting stuck down there a little bit. Not so much today, but a lot of the times yesterday. Kind of keep going around, and we work on that. We call it a Nash dribble. And so, no, I just, big fella switched, and I was getting to my spot and just floated it up. So.
Again, please provide your name and affiliation.
John Budner, Marquette Hoops. Questions for Chase on some of those defensive plays. I mean, the hustle plays, particularly his 2 blocks, though. I mean, Cody Williams might be the #1 pick in the NBA draft. I mean, you spiked that block shot and looked pretty happy about it. But as good as they were in offense, how key was that play and just your hustle?
I mean, I take pride in my defense. When I get in, I'm not really looking for the offense. I just want to have contagious energy on defense to get these guys energy on offense and just have plays like that, blocks, steals, all that, just get out and run.
Right here.
Ben Steele, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Chase, TK found you on for that 3 that broke the tie after timeout play. After not scoring in the first round, what gave you the confidence to take that shot?
Coach always preaches effort shooting, so when I got it, it was effort. So I just shot it and went in.
Pat?
Pat Forty from Sports Illustrated. Chaka, after you got through the handshake line, some real jubilation from you. What was going through your mind at that moment?
Grateful for our fans. One of the things about Marquette is there's a high standard here. The games, and particularly this time of year, are so incredibly meaningful to the folks that have followed our program for so long, going back, many coaches. I got a text today from Mike Dean wishing me luck, and it just kind of made me think of all the coaches and players that have come before us to give us the opportunity to sit up here. And then just, we've been through a lot as a group together. Really 90-some% of the things we've been through have been very positive, but you tend to remember some of the hard times as well. The loss to Michigan State, Tyler's injury. Chase was banged up this year, all year long. Sean Jones tearing his ACL. We've had some adversity, but guys have never wavered in terms of their belief in our plan and our way, and they've stayed connected with one another. Relationships is our #1 advantage, and that's just something that we believe in, and I think it won us the game today.
Right here.
Yeah, Tyler, Ben Baby with ESPN. I think there was a stretch there in the second half, especially when Colorado took the lead, where I think you assisted or scored on every bucket. Did you make it? Did you purposely, given what you said earlier about kind of the history here, want to put things on your shoulders and want everything to run through you at the end there and kind of make sure that you got this team where it needed to go?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the game, the ball's in my hands, so that could happen with any given stretch. Cam happened to be out, another one of our shot creators, play creators for other guys. So, ball was in my hands maybe a little bit more. But, guys do a great job spacing off me, playing off me, and I find them in their spots, and, they make the plays. And so I'm grateful for them.
Right here.
Shaka, you cut the rotation down just to 7 guys that have been here the last couple of seasons. What's it mean to you that those are the guys that got you there?
Yeah, it wasn't even a decision necessarily before the game. It just the way the first half was going, I thought, these guys and the 5 other guys that were in had a good flow about them. And, these media timeouts are so incredibly long. The NCAA's got to pay the bills. So, really by the end of those, and these guys can speak to it more than me, that they're ready to go. But I told Trey and Zayd in the locker room, you guys are a huge part of us getting here, and we're going to need you in the next game. So it's kind of a game-by-game thing, but didn't want to go too long without having him in the game. Cam had some foul trouble. Oso, it wasn't his best day, but I thought he hung in there. And our guys just kept battling. And Chase and Stevie, we absolutely needed to have in there for their defense. And I thought David Joplin, he played through approach goals this whole game. I mean, he had a look in his eye of going to attack. That was huge for us.
Right here. Name and affiliation, please.
Colin McMahon, Hoosier Network. Tyler, you had 11 assists last game and then 11 again today. What do you think this says about you and your team's focus on sharing the basketball?
Yeah, all year I've been sharing the ball like that. I think I lead the country in assists, so it's not really anything new. The guys are making shots, making plays when I give them the ball, and I'm grateful for them. So,
Questions, please. Right here.
John Pudden, Marquette Hoops again. Tyler, I guess for you, I've never seen this team this intense in 3 years. I mean, guys almost weren't smiling when they hit three-pointers. Was that just so focused on the next play, no matter what good had just happened?
we know what's at stake. This isn't a time to be joking around. I'm a serious guy as it is. I like to have fun, but when it comes to crunch time, you got to be serious. It's win or go home. That's all it is. So if I'm joking around out there after we make a shot, messing around, they're gonna come down. I think Chase celebrated after he won 3. They came down in transition, and he knows better than that. So it's like, young guy, you gotta reel him in a little bit. But no, it's just trying to give my mindset off to the team, and I think everybody does a great job of adopting that. And really credit to Cam Jones, and his demeanor is really free flowing, kind of all over the place. But these past, I don't know what it's been, 2 months, he's been laser focused on what he really needs to do, and that's why he's been playing so well.
Mike?
Tyler, Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. During the time you were sitting out, was there any part of you that was worried that you wouldn't get this chance to get out there and take your team to the Sweet 16?
No, I didn't think there was any chance at all. I would have battled through. I'm not really feeling anything when I'm playing right now, which is a good thing, knock on wood. But even if I was, I'd still be playing through it. That's just the nature of who I am. I think originally they said 3 to 4 week injury, and the 3 weeks would have brought us right up to the first game of the NCAA tournament. Me personally, I feel like I was ready to go the week before that championship game of the Big East. But obviously, being that early, it probably wasn't smart to go out there. The risk of re-injury was greater than the reward of winning that tournament. We had our mindset on March Madness, and that's why I never really spiraled down mentally, just because I knew I was coming back. I knew what I was playing for.
Do we have a question via Zoom? Go ahead, please.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, you talked about relationships in the ever-changing environment of collegiate athletics and the transfer portal and people not really being connected to anything. Why do you feel like Marquette's so different, and why are these relationships so strong?
Well, number one, anyone that's part of our program has been hand-selected because they value relationships. So, from the jump, we have a group of players and coaches that, care about the people around them, and it's important to them. We don't go about things in a transactional manner, not saying that anyone else does. But for us, we're old-fashioned. We still enjoy getting to know guys during the recruiting process, building a relationship with them and their families. These guys have families that care about these games every bit as much as they do. And, we can't expect our players to have relationships with each other if we don't have relationships with their families, with them. I believe it goes into winning. I learned that as an assistant coach. If you got a bunch of guys out there for themselves, you're going to have a ceiling on how good you can be. But, if you have guys that are willing to run through a wall for each other, then you can get past hard like we did today and go do something special.
And we have reached the end of our time. So thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we will be joined by Colorado here momentarily. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Coach. Good game. Great game. All right, we will begin with an opening statement from Coach Boyle, and then we will go to questions for anybody up here at the dais. So, Coach?
Well, it's another good game in March. Unfortunately, we came up on the short end of it tonight, unlike the other night. But give Marquette credit; they played well. We didn't have much of an answer for them defensively all night. I would just say that when a team shoots 61%, against you for the game, almost 62%, and you still got a chance at the end, it means you're doing something right. And for this team, what that means to me is like they've been competing their tails off the whole year, and because you don't give up 61% and stay in a game, but we rebounded the ball well. We fought. We battled. We just came up a little bit short, and I thought we had our chances at the end. Had some good looks, didn't go in, and it's disappointing. But I got a lot of respect for Marquette. They're a hell of a team, hell of a program, but I love this team. I love these guys. I love those guys in that locker room, and they got nothing to hang their heads about. They competed their tails off, not just here in Indianapolis, but in Dayton the other night in the Pac-12 tournament, and since basically the middle of February. So.
Thanks,
Great
Coach.
year, 26 wins, something to be proud of.
Thanks, Coach. Raise your hands, and we'll get a mic to you. Please state your name and affiliation.
Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. For the players, I guess, what was the talk at halftime? Obviously, you're down 11, but, came out red hot and made a game of it just, within 2 minutes.
Tristan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we weren't playing our best game. It kind of felt like we were supposed to be down, 20 or 25 the way we were playing. So, we kind of had a sense or had a feeling that, it was in our hands to kind of turn this game around. And, we had all the confidence to come out in the second half and battle the way we did.
KJ?
The talk was pretty much just, we've been in this position before. It's nothing new to us. We just have to go out there and keep doing what we're doing. And, credit to Marquette. They were hitting almost everything, it seemed like. But you look up and you're only down 11 when it feels like you're down a lot more, like Tristan said. And we just all had the mentality of I'm not giving up. We've done that throughout the whole year. We've shown that throughout the whole year. And that was just the mindset that we can go out there and we can, still come back and, never give up and never give up on that effort. And we did that. We just came up short.
Luke?
Yeah, what they said. It was just basically there was no panic at halftime. We knew we were missing a couple shots that usually goes in, and we just said we got to come out aggressive, and we did that. Obviously, we fell short in the end, but really proud of how we came out that second half.
Right here.
Ben Baby with ESPN. Tad, what makes Tyler Kolek so hard to account for, and kind of what difference did he make in the second half when he got rolling?
Coach?
I thought he was terrific all game, not just the second half. He's very crafty. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, I was surprised when I was looking at the stat sheet that he had 6 turnovers. It didn't seem like he turned it over at all. He made a couple bad decisions, but he makes the right decision in ball screens, almost every time. Not every time, but almost every time. And he's a dual threat because he can really get to that left hand. He was 4 for 4 at halftime, and every one of them was to his left hand, and that was part of our game plan, is to try to take that left hand away. But he's very, very good at getting back to it. They're good at kind of changing angles on the screens, but he's a terrific player. You appreciate him on film, then you appreciate him with his numbers, but then you play against him, and you're like, holy cow, that kid's special. He's a good player.
And kind of follow up, KJ played, I think, all but 4 seconds in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, how big was he for y'all in getting y'all back into that game there in the second half?
He's been like that all year. He's the ultimate competitor. I wouldn't trade KJ Simpson for any point guard in America. Tyler's a hell of a player. There's no doubt about it. But what KJ's done for us defensively, offensively, leadership-wise, the growth that he's shown from his freshman year to now his junior year has been phenomenal. And I've sung KJ's praises all year long. I'll continue to do it because he's a hell of a player. And I told him in the locker room after the game I'll go to war with him, every day of the week, twice on Sundays, because he's a special player. So to me, Tyler Kolek's an All-American, but KJ Simpson is too. Just look at his numbers.
Questions, please. Raise your hand. Right over here.
Jake Shapiro, Denver Sports. Tad, you've said for years all you can hope for is an opportunity. You got it to get in the first four. You had opportunities down the stretch. Is this one that's going to come back and kind of sting you, or is this, like you talked about, something you can more be proud of, the fact that you guys won 25 games and, fought through this game?
Jake, it's a combination of both. You can be proud of your guys and still like, oh, this was a great opportunity that we let slip away because we gave ourselves chances. I told that team in the locker room after the game, we had chances to win that game. Had good looks, had good wide open looks, just didn't make them. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes basketball becomes a make-miss game. I just keep going back to the 62% field goal percentage defense. And again, credit Marquette. They run their stuff. They run it with pace. They've got good players. I mean, they got good one-on-one players, and they got good actions that they run. And our guys competed. And the way they came out in the second half, I mean, you saw it. We've done that before. We were down 16 at USC, came back and won. We're down, to a really, really good Marquette team tonight. Come back and take the lead twice, but we couldn't ever string together enough stops to really, when we took the lead, to expand on it. But we had looks. And that's all you can ask for as a coach. And as players. So I'm proud of these guys. Their competitive spirit and effort is second to none.
Right here.
Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera for Tad. It seemed like this season kind of presented some unique challenges for you. You had the preseason expectations. You had the injuries. And it wasn't like it was just one guy going down and you adjust. It was this guy's out and then that guy's out. And then you managed to get hot at the end to get here. From your vantage in your career, what were maybe some of the unique challenges for you to keep this team on the right track and obviously finish the way you did?
Well, I think, injuries are part of the game. Everybody's got them. To some schools, some programs have more of them than others, based on the year. So that's part of it. We never use it as an excuse. We've had injuries before. A lot of times they've been season-ending injuries. But this year we didn't have, other than RJ, which was unfortunate, early there in the season, we lost him for the year. But everybody else, when they were out, they were just out for periods of time, and sometimes 3, 4, 5 games, whatever the case might be. But to answer your question is how do you overcome that? It's guys like this. It's the leadership. It's the no excuse mentality that these players played with all season long. And part of the pride that I have in this year's team in winning 26 games is overcoming the things that we had to overcome as a group, not just individually, the individuals who got injured and came back and had to rehab, but the guys that didn't, that were around for and had to pick up the slack for some of those guys when they were out. And that's what a team does. And that's why I love this team. And a guy like Ruff didn't play tonight, but he was a critical part of our team this year at certain junctures. And I just use him as an example, but I love these guys. But it's a no excuse mentality and the leadership from guys like Luke O'Brien and KJ Simpson and Tristan Da Silva that kept this team afloat when things got tough.
Right here.
Gary Graves, Associated Press. Coach, when you defend when your guys defend as well as they could on the perimeter and Chase Ross still knocks down a three-point shot, it's like, what's your reaction to something like that, that, you know, you did everything you could and a guy like that just hits a shot like that?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, players make plays. And I thought Ross coming off the bench, because Jones got in foul trouble, and Ross was, to me, the key for Marquette in terms of the way he played coming off the bench, just looking, you know, 5 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. You know, Cody was tagging on that play, and then he made a really good contest. The kid made a shot. But sometimes good offense can beat good defense on a given possession, and we understand that. So the way you react to that is, hey, good defense, come down, have a great offensive possession. But we had too many breakdowns defensively in the first half and the second half that we gave them, you know, some opportunities that, again, we could have prevented. But our guys battled, but we weren't consistent enough on that side of the ball. We scored enough points to win this game. You know, you score 77 points in an NCAA tournament game, you can win. We scored 60 and won the other night, but we weren't good enough offensively. But Marquette had a lot to do with that. They're very, very talented and very good.
We've come to the end of our time, so thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great season.